Lyra stood frozen at the edge of the forest, her eyes fixed on the massive metal object that had torn through the pink skies of Azuria. Moments ago, the ground still trembled from the impact clouds of purple dust billowing around the crash site. Her forearms instinctively crossed over her chest, a defensive posture common among her people. The Azurians. No one had ever visited their world before, at least not in recorded history. Azuria was located far from any major space routes, isolated, and largely unknown to the galaxy at large. Lyra had always dreamed of what might exist beyond their atmosphere. But now that something had actually arrived, she felt nothing but fear. Smoke rose from the object, which Lyra could now see was some kind of vessel, a ship perhaps, though unlike anything her people had designed, the Azurians had basic space travel, but rarely ventured beyond their own moons. Lyra took a hesitant step forward, her curiosity slowly overcoming her fear. A loud hissing sound made her jump back as a section of the ship began to move, sliding open to reveal a dark interior. Lyra considered running to alert her village, but something kept her rooted to the spot. A mixture of fear and fascination. Perhaps this was the moment. She had always imagined first contact with beings from beyond their world. A figure emerged from the darkness, completely encased in bulky armor that gleamed under Azuria's twin suns. The being was tall, much taller than any Azurian, with broad shoulders, and a featureless helmet where a face should be. Lyra could see no eyes, no mouth. Nothing to suggest the creature inside was anything like her people. The armored figure took heavy steps down a ramp that had extended from the ship, each footfall making a metallic thud against the surface. Lyra remained hidden partially behind a glowing blue tree, her natural camouflage abilities helping her blend with the bioluminescent flora. The being seemed to be scanning the area, though Lyra couldn't see any eyes through the dark visor of the helmet. Suddenly, the being turned directly toward her location. Lyra held her breath. Had it spotted her despite her camouflage? The figure raised one hand in what might have been a greeting, but Lyra couldn't be sure. The armored creature took another step forward, and Lyra instinctively backed deeper into the forest. Wait. The creature called out. The voice sounded strange, filtered through some kind of device, but somehow Lyra understood the word, even though it wasn't in the Azurian language. I'm not here to hurt you. Lyra hesitated, unsure whether to reveal herself or flee. The being remained still, as if trying not to appear threatening. After a long moment, Lyra decided to step forward, allowing her camouflage to fade, revealing her blue iridescent skin and forearms. The armored figure seemed to study her for a moment, then slowly, very slowly, reached up to its helmet. Lyra watched with a mixture of dread and curiosity as the being twisted the helmet with a hissing sound of released pressure, then lifted it away. Lyra gasped in surprise. Beneath the intimidating armor was not a monster, but a face with features both alien and somehow familiar. The being had light-colored skin, much paler than Lyra's blue, toned 2 eyes instead of Lyra's 4, and strange yellow fur on top of its head. The creature had no mandibles like Azurians, but instead a small protrusion in the center of its face and a mouth that now curved upward at the edge. Shello, the being said, its voice now clearer without the helmet. My name is Sam. I'm a human from planet Earth. Lyra stared in amazement as the human continued to remove pieces of its armor, revealing more of the strange body underneath, only 2 arms thin compared to Lyra's 4 muscular ones. The human was still tall but looked less intimidating without the bulky protection. I'm on a peaceful mission, Sam explained. We didn't know this planet was inhabited. Our sensors must have malfunctioned. Sorry if I frightened you. Lyra found her voice at last. What do you want with our world? Sam smiled, a gesture Lyra would come to learn meant friendliness among humans. I am an explorer. Part of Earth's first interstellar mission, we seek knowledge about other worlds and life forms, not conquest or resources. Over the next several days, Lyra secretly met with Sam near the crash site. She learned that Sam was female among humans, though the differences between human genders seemed less pronounced than among Azurians. Sam showed Lyra pictures of Earth on a small device, explaining concepts like oceans, deserts, cities, and the many different types of humans that inhabited her world. Sam, in turn, was fascinated by Azurian biology and culture, asking endless questions about their forearms, bioluminescent skin, and communal society structure. Lyra explained how Azurians lived in harmony with their environment, how they could partially photosynthesize energy from their suns, and how they communicated not just with words, but with patterns of light that rippled across their skin. "I should tell my people about you," Lyra finally said after their 5th meeting. "They are afraid some believe the object that fell from the sky is an omen of destruction." Sam nodded, looking concerned. "I understand my presence here was unplanned, but perhaps it can be the beginning of something positive. A friendship between our worlds. Would you help me meet your leaders?" Lyra felt conflicted. Azurians were generally peaceful but highly protective of their way of life. Outsiders were the stuff of legends and myths, often portrayed as dangerous. The elders might react with fear, but keeping Sam a secret felt increasingly wrong. "I will help you," Lyra decided, "but we must be careful. The village elder Neela is wise but cautious. It would be best if I explain everything first before bringing you there." Sam agreed and gave Lyra a small communication device so they could stay in contact the next day. Lyra returned to her village, her mind racing with how to explain the existence of an alien visitor from beyond the stars. She found Neela in the council chamber, a large circular room with walls made of living plants that hummed with energy. "Elder Neela," Lyra began, her skin pulsing. "With nervous light patterns, I have something important to tell you about the object that fell from the sky." Neela turned, all 4 of her eyes focusing intently on Lyra. "I sense your unease. Young one, what have you discovered?" Lyra took a deep breath. "There was someone inside, a visitor from another world far from ours. They call themselves human. Their ship crashed. They mean no harm." Neela's skin darkened with concern. "You have spoken with this creature?" "I have," Lyra admitted. "Over several days. They are peaceful, curious about our world. They wish to meet you." Neela sat in silence for several moments, her skin shifting through patterns that expressed deep thought, caution, and a hint of curiosity. "The village must be consulted." She finally said, "This decision affects all. If this visitor truly comes in peace, we will listen, but we must be prepared for all possibilities." Word spread quickly through the village about the alien visitor. Opinions were divided. Some excited by the prospect, others terrified. The council debated long into the night, while Lyra waited anxiously for their decision in the morning. Neela came to her. "We will meet this human," Neela said, "but on our terms, in the sacred clearing at midday. They must come unarmed and alone. As a sign of trust, Lyra contacted Sam, explaining the conditions. Sam agreed immediately, sounding excited about the prospect of formal first contact when midday arrived. Lyra led Sam, now wearing only a simple bodysuit, rather than armor, to the sacred clearing, where the entire village had gathered in a wide circle, their skin displaying a rainbow of emotional patterns. Sam looked around in wonder at the assembled Azurians, their blue skin glowing in various patterns under the light of the twin suns. Neela stepped forward, her tall form commanding respect. "Visitor from the stars." Neela spoke formally, her skin pulsing with the traditional patterns of greeting. "Why have you come to our world?" Sam bowed respectfully, a gesture she'd learned from Lyra. "Honorable Elder, I come from a world called Earth. My arrival here was unplanned, but perhaps it was meant to be. Our peoples have much to learn from each other. I seek only friendship and knowledge." Neela studied Sam carefully. "What do your people want from us?" "Nothing. That and freely given." Sam replied, "We believe in peaceful exchange of ideas and understanding. We have technologies we could share. But more importantly, we offer friendship. The knowledge that we are not alone in this vast universe." Murmurs and light patterns rippled through the gathered Azurians. Neela raised her 4 arms for silence. "We will consider your words. The council will deliberate on this matter. Until then, you may stay in our village under Lyra's guidance. She will teach you our ways." Sam smiled widely. "Thank you, Elder Neela. I am honored." As Sam was led away to a dwelling prepared for her, Lyra felt a surge of hope. Perhaps this strange meeting of 2 worlds would lead to something wonderful. The monster in armor had turned out to be a friend from the stars, and this was just the beginning of their story. Days passed as Sam settled into life among the Azurians. She stayed in a small dwelling made of living plants that responded to light and temperature, a beautiful structure that breathed and hummed with energy, so different from the cold metal of her ship. Lyra visited daily, teaching Sam about Azurian customs and language. While Sam shared stories of Earth, Sam's presence had divided the village. Some Azurians welcomed her with curiosity, bringing gifts of glowing fruits and handcrafted items. Others kept their distance, watching with suspicious eyes, and defensive light patterns flashing across their skin. Elder Neela observed it all carefully, weighing the potential benefits and risks of this unexpected contact. One morning, as the twin suns rose, casting multicolored shadows through the crystal trees, Sam received a signal on her communication device. Her eyes widened as she read the message. Lyra noticed the change in her expression. "Is something wrong?" Lyra asked. Sam looked up, her face showing concern. "My ship has detected an approaching vessel." She explained, "It's from Earth. They must have tracked my emergency beacon. They will arrive within days." Lyra felt a chill run through her. More humans coming to their world. What would this mean for her people? Will they be like you? Peaceful? "I believe so," Sam said, "but I should warn them about your civilization. Make sure they understand the importance of respect and caution when they arrive." "Can you take me to my ship?" Lyra agreed, and they set out immediately. Through the bioluminescent forest, the crashed ship looked smaller now against the lush landscape, partially covered by flowering vines that had begun to grow over its metal surface. Sam accessed the ship system, sending a detailed message to the approaching Earth vessel explaining the situation and emphasizing the peaceful nature of the Azurians. "We should tell Elder Neela," Lyra said, after Sam had finished. "This affects everyone." They returned to the village, where a council meeting was quickly assembled. Sam explained about the approaching ship as murmurs and worried light patterns spread through the gathered Azurian show. "Many will come?" Neela asked, her 4 eyes focused intently on Sam. "The ship is a small exploration vessel," Sam explained, "probably carrying between 5 and 10 crew members. They are scientists and explorers like me, not warriors." "What are their intentions?" Neela pressed. "Will they take you away?" Sam considered this question. "They might want me to return to Earth, but I can request to stay longer to continue learning about your world if you'd allow it. The decision ultimately rests with your council." The council debated long into the night while Lyra and Sam waited outside the chamber, Lyra's skin pulsing with anxious patterns that reflected her concern about how this new development might change everything. When morning came, Neela announced their decision. "We will meet these new humans," Neela declared, "but with caution. We will prepare a greeting ceremony, but also ready our defenses. Though we are peaceful, we are not naive." Over the next few days, the village buzzed with activity. Some Azurians constructed additional dwellings for the visitors. Others gathered food and prepared ceremonial items. Sam helped Lyra explain human customs and behaviors to minimize misunderstandings. On the day the Earth ship was due to arrive, Lyra took Sam to a high ridge overlooking the valley. They watched the sky as a bright light appeared, growing larger, until the shape of a vessel became visible. Unlike Sam's crashed ship, this one descended with control, landing gently in a clearing near the village. The ship was sleek and silver, smaller than Lyra had imagined, but still impressive against the colorful Azurian landscape. A hatch opened and several figures emerged. Like Sam, they wore protective suits, but removed their helmets immediately upon testing the atmosphere. Sam waved, and the humans spotted her obvious relief in their expressions as they made their way toward the ridge. Lyra felt nervous meeting more humans at once, her skin involuntarily shifting to a camouflage pattern before she consciously returned it to normal. 5 humans reached them, 3 female and 2 male. Based on what Sam had taught Lyra about human gender differences, their leader stepped forward, a woman with dark skin and curly black hair cropped close to her head. "Sam Jordan," the woman said with a wide smile. "We thought we'd lost you. The emergency beacon signal was our only hope." Sam embraced the woman, then introduced her crew to Lyra. "This is Commander Olivia, their mission leader," she explained, "and these are Lynn, Alex, Maya, and Eli. They are scientists specializing in different fields." The humans stared at Lyra. With undisguised fascination, she knew her forearms, bioluminescent blue skin, and large eyes must seem as strange to them as their features had initially seemed to her. "It's an honor to meet you," Olivia said, her voice warm. "We had no idea we'd find intelligent life here, especially one so advanced." Lyra performed the traditional Azurian greeting, her forearms moving in a complex pattern while her skin pulsed with formal welcome lights. "My people await you in the village," she said. "Elder Neela has prepared a ceremony to welcome you properly. The humans followed Lyra and Sam down the ridge toward the village. Lyra noticed how they stared in wonder at the crystal trees, glowing plants, and hovering seed pods that drifted through the air there. Excitement was palpable, reminding Lyra of how Sam had reacted during her first days. The village had been transformed for the occasion, the central clearing decorated with luminescent flowers and crystalline structures that caught and refracted the sunlight the Azurians had gathered in ceremonial formation, their skin displaying formal patterns synchronized to create a stunning visual display. Elder Neela stepped forward as the humans arrived, her tall form commanding respect. Visitors from Earth, she began. We welcome you to Azuria in peace and hope for understanding between our peoples. Olivia bowed just as Sam must have instructed her. Elder Neela, we are honored by your welcome. We come in peace, seeking knowledge and friendship. We apologize for our unexpected arrival, and thank you for your kindness to our lost crew member. The formal ceremony proceeded with an exchange of symbolic gifts, the humans presenting small devices containing images and information about Earth, while the Azurians offered crystals that stored bioluminescent energy, a technology unique to their world. Afterward, a feast was prepared with foods safe for human consumption, specially grown over the past days. During the feast, Lyra observed the new humans interacting with her people. Lynn, a botanist, was fascinated by the living architecture, examining the structures with careful, respectful touches. Alex studied the crystal technology, asking questions through a translation device. Maya, a cultural specialist, conversed with Elder Neela, while Eli recorded everything with small floating cameras. Sam sat beside Lyra, looking pleased at how well the meeting was progressing. I was worried they might not understand the importance of this moment, Sam confessed, but they seemed genuinely respectful. Lyra nodded, her skin glowing with a pattern that indicated cautious optimism. They seem kind, like you. But what happens next? Will they stay? Will you leave with them? Sam looked thoughtful. I've requested permission to continue my work here. Olivia seems supportive. The others will likely stay for a time to learn and then return to Earth with initial findings. It's standard procedure for first contact. The thought of Sam leaving sent an unexpected wave of sadness. Through Lyra reflected in her skin pattern, Sam noticed and placed a gentle hand on Lyra's upper arm. Don't want to leave, she said softly. I've grown fond of your world and your people. She paused, especially. You, Lyra felt her skin brighten with emotion, a reaction she couldn't control among Azurians. Such displays were impossible to hide, making deception rare in their society. I would miss your stories and questions. She admitted, you've changed how I see the stars. Their conversation was interrupted. When Olivia approached, may I speak with you both? She asked, her expression serious. Sam nodded and Olivia continued. We need to discuss something important. Our scans have detected another ship approaching this system. It's not from Earth, and it's large, much larger than our vessel. Lyra's skin darkened with alarm. Another ship who don't know Olivia. Admitted its design doesn't match any in our database, but its trajectory suggests it's heading directly for this planet. It will arrive within days. Sam turned to Lyra. We should tell Elder Neela immediately. As they moved to find the Elder, Lyra felt fear growing within her. First one human, then many and now unknown visitors from beyond their stars. The once peaceful, isolated existence of her people was changing rapidly, perhaps forever. She wondered if the monster in armor that had started this chain of events had brought blessing or curse to Azuria. Only time would tell. For now she would trust Sam and hope that whatever came from the stars next would be as kind as the first human who removed her helmet to reveal not a monster, but a friend. The news of another approaching ship spread through the village like wildfire. Elder Neela called an emergency council meeting, while the humans huddled around their equipment, trying to gather more information about the mysterious vessel. Lyra stood between these two groups, feeling torn between her own people and the humans she'd come to trust. Sam approached Lyra, her face etched with concern. We need to prepare for all possibilities, she said quietly. The approaching ship is large, nearly 10 times the size of our exploration vessel. What does that mean? Lyra asked, her skin flickering with anxiety patterns. It could be a scientific vessel like ours, just larger. Sam explained. Or it could be something else. A trading ship, a diplomatic mission, or what Lyra pressed. Sam hesitated, looking uncomfortable. It could be a resource exploration vessel. Some corporations seek valuable minerals and biological compounds across the galaxy. They don't always respect indigenous rights. Fear rippled through Lyra's luminescent skin. She had learned enough about human history to understand the implication. Her people were peaceful, with limited defensive capabilities. If these new arrivals had conquest in mind, Elder Neela emerged from the council chamber. Her expression grave. We must prepare. She announced, we have survived storms and natural disasters by working together. Now we face an unknown from the stars. We will not abandon our homes, but neither will we be unprepared. Olivia stepped forward. Elder Neela, my crew and I offer our full assistance. Our ship has defensive capabilities, not weapons, but shields and countermeasures. We can help protect the village. The next few days passed in a blur of activity. The humans worked with Azurians to establish perimeter sensors using a combination of Earth technology and Azurian crystal power. Meanwhile, Sam taught a small group of volunteers how to use communication devices to stay connected across distances. Lyra worked closely with Sam, rarely leaving her side as they prepared for the unknown vessel. The physical differences between them seemed less important now. As they moved with shared purpose, Lyra found herself studying Sam when she wasn't looking, noticing the grace with which she moved. Despite having only 2 arms, the expressive nature of her face, the way her yellow hair caught the light of the twin sun-sown evening as they sat calibrating sensors. Sam looked up suddenly, catching Lyra watching her. Sam smiled, a question in her eyes. Trying to understand, Lyra admitted, her skin pulsing with colors that revealed her mixed emotions a few weeks ago. I had never seen a being from another world. Now I feel as though I've known you much longer. Sam put down her tools. I know what you mean. Back on Earth, I studied xenobiology, the science of potential alien life, but nothing prepared me for the reality. The connection. Lyra repeated the word, her upper arms moving in the Azurian gesture for understanding. Yes, that is what I feel despite our differences. Sam reached out hesitantly and touched one of Lyra's hands, her 5 fingers against Lyra's 7. I believe some things transcend physical differences, she said softly. Intelligence, curiosity, compassion, these exist, regardless of how many arms or eyes we have. Lyra felt her skin glow brighter at the touch, a response she couldn't control among her people. Such reactions were understood as deep emotional resonance. She knew Sam had learned enough about Azurian biology to recognize what it meant. Their moment was interrupted by an urgent call from Olivia's crew. The approaching ship had accelerated. It would arrive within hours, not days as originally estimated. Everyone was summoned to the village center. The ship will enter orbit soon, Lynn explained, pointing to a display screen showing the vessel's trajectory. It's not responding to our hails. What are our options? Elder Neela asked, her 4 eyes focused intensely on the humans. We have 3 possibilities, Olivia replied. We can attempt to hide the village using your natural camouflage abilities and our technology to mask life signs. We can evacuate to the caves in the mountains temporarily, or we can stand our ground and attempt peaceful contact. The council deliberated quickly before Elder Neela announced their decision. We will not hide nor run. This is our home. We will attempt peace first, but be prepared for other outcomes. As night fell, the Azurians gathered in the central clearing, their skin dimmed to minimal luminescence, a precaution suggested by Maya. The human cultural specialist, the Earth ship, hovered nearby, its systems on standby, ready to activate shields if necessary. Lyra stood with Sam near Elder Neela, all eyes turned skyward. A bright light appeared, growing larger until it dominated the night sky. The ship was enormous, just as Sam had warned, dwarfing the human vessel. Its design was angular with sharp edges. Unlike the smooth curves of Earth ships, it descended, slowly stopping to hover high above the village. There was a moment of tense silence. Then a beam of light shot down from the ship, touching the ground. Nearby, a figure materialized within the beam, tall and imposing, fully armored, much like Sam had been when she first arrived, but larger, with more elaborate protection covering its entire body. The figure stepped forward, its helmet featuring multiple glowing sensors where eyes should be. It raised a hand palm outward in what seemed like a universal gesture of peace. I am Ambassador Krell of the Dravek Confederation. The figure announced, its voice deep and resonating. "We detected unusual energy signatures and unregistered vessels in this sector, Elder." Neela stepped forward, moving with dignity. "Despite her obvious tension, I am Elder Neela of the Azurian people. This is our homeworld. We welcome peaceful visitors." The armored figure studied her, then turned toward the humans. "Particularly, Olivia. You are not native to this world. Explain your presence." Olivia stood tall. "We are explorers from Earth. We arrived recently and established peaceful contact with the Azurians. We have their permission to be here." Ambassador Krell was silent for a moment, then reached up, removing his helmet. Unlike the humans, the face revealed was strikingly different from the Azurians' gray-scaled skin, with ridged features, multiple small eyes arranged in a pattern, and breathing slits where a nose might be on a human. "The Dravek Confederation spans 50 solar systems," Ambassador Krell explained. "We maintain stability and enforce interstellar regulations. This sector falls under our protection, though we had not identified intelligent life here until now." "Protection?" Lyra asked, her skin flickering with cautious patterns. The ambassador turned toward her. "We ensure that developing worlds are not exploited by outside interests. Your world has valuable resources that could attract unwanted attention." Sam stepped forward slightly. "Is that why you're here, for resources?" Ambassador Krell made a gesture that might have been negative. "We are here because we detected your ships. The unregistered presence of Earth vessels triggered our protocols. Earth is known to us but is not yet a member of the Confederation. Your technology is still developing. Is this a first contact situation for you?" Olivia asked. "Not precisely," Ambassador Krell replied. "We have observed Earth from afar, but maintained distance, as is our protocol for emerging spacefaring civilizations. Your recent advances in faster-than-light travel have brought you to our attention sooner than anticipated." Elder Neela spoke with quiet authority. "What are your intentions regarding our world, Ambassador?" "We offer membership in the Confederation," Ambassador Krell stated. "Protection, knowledge exchange, technological advancement. But we do not force this on any world. The choice must be yours." The atmosphere shifted from tension to cautious interest as Ambassador Krell explained more about the Dravek Confederation, its principles, and the benefits of membership. He described how they had helped other developing worlds protect their unique cultures while gaining access to advanced technologies, particularly medical and environmental innovations. When he finished speaking, Elder Neela thanked him for the information. "We must discuss this among our council and with our human friends before making any decisions." She said, "You are welcome to stay as our guest while we deliberate." Ambassador Krell accepted the invitation. Additional Dravek representatives were brought down from their ship to establish a temporary base near the village. The presence of 3 different species on Azuria was unprecedented, but somehow fitting in the clearing that night as all 3 groups shared a meal together. Lyra found herself sitting between Sam and a Dravek scientist named Tezak, comparing notes on their respective biologies and cultures. Despite their physical differences, they found common ground in their curiosity, their love of discovery, and their respect for life later. As the 3 moons of Azuria rose in the night sky, Lyra and Sam walked together along a crystal path that glowed beneath their feet. "It's amazing how quickly everything has changed," Lyra said, her skin displaying patterns of wonder and contemplation from isolation to meeting humans. "And now the Dravek, all in less than a full lunar cycle," Sam nodded. "Things are moving faster than anyone expected, but I think it's for the best. The Dravek could help protect your world from less benevolent visitors." "Do you trust them?" Lyra asked cautiously. Sam replied, "They seem genuine, and Olivia says their reputation among other worlds we've encountered is generally positive. They value stability, which isn't always exciting but is usually safe." Lyra considered this, looking up at the stars that now seemed full of possibilities rather than mysteries. Her world would never be the same. But perhaps that was not something to fear. Change could bring growth, opportunity, connections she would never have imagined. Sam took her hand gently. "Whatever happens, you won't face it alone." Weeks passed as the Azurians deliberated over the Dravek proposal to join their confederation. During this time, cultural exchange flourished, with knowledge and stories flowing between the 3 species. The Dravek shared historical records of their civilizations spanning thousands of years, while the humans offered their diverse cultures and scientific methods. The Azurians, in turn, taught their visitors about living in harmony with their environment. Sam and Lyra became unofficial ambassadors, helping bridge understanding between their peoples one morning. They led a mixed group of humans and Dravek on an expedition to the Crystal Caves, a sacred place where Azurians traditionally went for reflection and spiritual connection. The caves glittered with bioluminescent crystals that responded to emotional energy, creating stunning light displays that shifted and flowed with the feelings of those present. "This is beautiful," Maya whispered as patterns of blue and purple swirled around, her reflecting her sense of wonder. Lyra smiled. "Our ancestors believed these caves connect all living things," she explained. "They said the crystals remember every emotion ever felt here. Joy, sorrow, love, fear, all becoming part of a shared experience." Ambassador Krell studied the patterns with his multiple eyes, fascinating. He said, "Your people have developed a unique spiritual connection to your world, one that seems to have measurable physical manifestations as they explored deeper into the caves." Lyra noticed Sam lagging behind her, expression troubled. Lyra fell back to walk beside her. "Something bothers you." Lyra said it was not a question. Her time with Sam had taught her to read human expressions almost as clearly as Azurian light patterns. Sam sighed. "I received a message from Earth this morning. Our presence here has created quite a stir. The scientific community is excited, but there are political complications. Some factions want to establish a permanent base here before the Dravik agreement is finalized." Lyra felt her skin darken with concern. "Do they not respect our sovereignty?" Sam ran a hand through her yellow hair. "Most do, but some see opportunity, not understanding. They view the Dravik as competition, not as potential allies," they continued, walking in silence for a moment before Sam spoke again. "I don't want Earth to repeat its historical mistakes here. Your world is special, Lyra. Your people have something we lost long ago, a true connection to your environment." They emerged into a vast chamber where crystals formed a dome overhead, reflecting light in mesmerizing patterns. The group spread out, exploring different areas, while Lyra and Sam found a quiet alcove to continue their conversation. "I've been thinking," Lyra said, her forearms moving in the gesture that indicated deep contemplation. "Perhaps there is a middle path. My people fear losing our identity if we join the Dravik Confederation, but we also recognize the need for protection and knowledge." "What kind of middle path?" Sam asked. Lyra's skin brightened as she explained. "A limited agreement, one that allows us to maintain our sovereignty while establishing diplomatic relations with both Earth and the Dravik. We could create a protected cultural zone where our traditions remain unchanged while designating specific areas for technological exchange and cooperations." Em looked thoughtful. "That could work. It would give your people time to adapt without forcing rapid change." Their discussion was interrupted when Tezak, the Dravik scientist, approached, his scaled face showing what Lyra had learned to recognize as excitement. "Ambassador Krell requests your presence at the village. He said our long-range sensors have detected another ship approaching its of Earth origin." Sam stood quickly. "Another Earth ship?" she asked in surprise. "We weren't expecting reinforcements." Lyra felt a ripple of unease travel through her skin as they quickly gathered the group and returned to the village. The peaceful exploration had been disrupted by yet another arrival from the stars. When they reached the village, they found Ambassador Krell and Olivia in deep discussion with Elder Neela, all three looking concerned. "It's a corporate vessel," Olivia explained, grimly looking at Sam. "Not Science Division Vitacorp, one of the largest resource extraction companies. What would they want here?" Sam asked, though. Lyra could tell from her expression that she already suspected the answer. Ambassador Krell made a rumbling sound that the translation devices interpreted as disapproval. "They likely detected the unique crystal formations and biological compounds in your initial reports. Corporate entities monitor scientific channels for potential resource opportunities." Elder Neela, four eyes narrowed. "This is why you spoke of protection." Krell nodded gravely. "Precisely, we have seen this pattern before. Corporations arrive, extract resources, and leave worlds diminished when they cannot be stopped. The Vitacorp ship will enter orbit within hours," Olivia said, her voice tight. "What are our options?" Ambassador Krell straightened to his full height, revealing the impressive stature of the Dravek species. "We can invoke temporary protective measures even without a formal agreement. The Confederation has protocols for emergency intervention in cases of potential exploitation. Lyra stepped forward, her skin pulsing with determination. The middle path I discussed with Sam could work here. She explained her idea for a protected cultural zone with limited areas for exchange and cooperation. Elder Neela considered this for a moment, then nodded. We must act quickly. The Council will support emergency measures while we continue to deliberate on the larger agreement. The next few hours were a flurry of activity as the Dravik established defensive perimeters around the village, while the humans configured their equipment to broadcast specific signals that would communicate the protected status of Azuria. Sam worked tirelessly, helping coordinate between the three groups, her expertise bridging the technological gaps. Lyra watched Sam with growing admiration. She had come to understand that Sam's initial appearance in armor had been protection, not threat, just as the Dravik now offered protection to her world. Sometimes what looked frightening could be salvation. As the Vitacorp ship entered orbit, Ambassador Krell opened communications. Your vessel has entered protected space. This planet falls under Dravik Confederation. Provisional protection, unauthorized landing, or resource survey is prohibited. There was a tense silence before a response came through. This is Director Walsh of Vitacorp. We were unaware of any protection status. Our records show this planet as unclaimed. We are conducting a standard resource survey under Earth corporate rights. Lyra felt her skin darken with anger at the casual way the corporate representative spoke about her homeworld, as if it were simply an entry in a database to be claimed and exploited. This world is home to the Azurian people, Ambassador Krell responded. Their sovereignty is recognized by both Earth scientific authorities and the Dravik Confederation. You are welcome to send one representative to discuss proper protocols, but no survey equipment or extraction technology will be permitted to land. Another pause followed. Then the corporate ship's response. We acknowledge your claim and request permission to send one representative for diplomatic discussion. Krell looked at Elder Neela, who nodded her agreement. The request was granted and preparations were made to receive the corporate representative at a neutral location away from both the village and the sacred crystal formations. When the corporate shuttle landed, a single human emerged, a woman with short gray hair and a crisp uniform that bore the Vitacorp insignia. Director Walsh surveyed the welcoming committee with a practiced smile that did not reach her eyes. This is an unexpected complication, she said. Looking between the assembled Azurians, humans, and Dravik, our company policy is to respect indigenous rights, of course, but our preliminary scans indicate vast mineral deposits that could benefit everyone. Lyra stepped forward alongside Elder Neela. Our crystals are not mere minerals, she said, allowing her skin to pulse with formal patterns that emphasized her words. They are connected to our way of life, our spirituality, our history. They are not for sale. Director. Walsh maintained her smile, though it tightened at the edges. I understand cultural sensitivities, believe me. But surely we can find a compromise. Perhaps a limited extraction agreement with appropriate compensation. Ambassador Krell made the Dravik gesture of negation. There will be no extraction agreements at this time. The Azurians are considering Confederation protection, which would place all resource decisions under their sovereign control, with Confederation oversight. Walsh turned to Olivia and the other Earth. Scientists, surely you understand the importance of resource development for Earth, she said. Our planet needs rare minerals for continued technological advancement. These deposits could advance medical technology by decades. Olivia stood firm. Earth's scientific mission prioritizes knowledge and peaceful contact, not resource acquisition, she said. Director Walsh, we cannot and will not support corporate exploitation. The meeting continued with Walsh attempting various angles to gain access to Azurian resources while the united front of Azurians, humans, and Dravik held firm in their protection of the planet. As the discussion grew more heated, Lyra noticed Sam watching the corporate director with a mixture of sadness and determination. This is why I left corporate research, Sam whispered to Lyra. They see only resources, not worlds, not peoples, not connections. Eventually, Director Walsh recognized her position was untenable. Very well, she said. Standing, I will report back to my superiors that this planet is under protection negotiations, but this won't be the last you hear from Vitacorp. The demand for these minerals only increases with time. The day of decision arrived after weeks of deliberation. The Azurian Council had reached their verdict on joining the Dravek Confederation. The entire village gathered in the central clearing along with the human scientists and Dravek representatives. The air buzzed with anticipation as Elder Neela took her place in the center, her forearms raised for attention, her skin glowing with formal patterns after careful consideration and many discussions. The council has reached a decision. Elder Neela announced we will not join the Dravek Confederation as full members. Ambassador Krellface remained impassive, though the slight shift in his posture suggested surprise. However, Elder Neela continued, "We propose a new type of relationship, a protective alliance that respects our sovereignty while allowing us access to Confederation knowledge and protection. In return, we offer our unique understanding of bioluminescent technology and our spiritual wisdom." There was a moment of silence as Ambassador Krell considered this proposal. "It is unusual," he finally said. "Most worlds choose either full membership or complete independence. Your middle path would create a new category within Confederation protocols. Such innovation should be welcomed, not feared." Elder Neela replied, her four eyes meeting Krell's multiple ones directly. "The galaxy is diverse. Should not relationships between worlds be equally so, Ambassador?" Krell made the Dravek gesture of acknowledgement. "I will consult with Confederation leadership. But I believe this arrangement could be acceptable. The details would need careful negotiation." Lyra felt a wave of relief wash through her, visible in the bright patterns that rippled across her skin. She looked at Sam, who smiled broadly, clearly pleased with the decision. The middle path they had discussed in the Crystal Caves was becoming reality. Elder Neela turned to Olivia and the Earth scientists. "The Council extends the same relationship to Earth. We welcome your knowledge and friendship but maintain our independent status." Olivia bowed in the Azurian style. "I believe this arrangement will satisfy Earth authorities as well. It protects your world, while allowing scientific and cultural exchange. I will recommend full recognition of Azurian sovereignty to our government." With the formal decisions announced, the gathering transformed into a celebration. Food was shared. Music played on crystal instruments filled the air, and beings from 3 worlds mingled freely, exchanging stories and ideas. Lyra watched as humans taught Azurians their dances, while Dravek shared tales of distant worlds with fascinated listeners. Sam found Lyra at the edge of the celebration, her eyes bright with excitement. "I just received a message from Earth," she said excitedly. "The Science Council has approved a permanent research exchange program with Azuria. They want to establish a small facility here to study crystal technology and bioluminescence. With your people's guidance and participation, would you lead this program?" Lyra asked, hoping the answer would be yes. Sam hesitated. "That's what I wanted to discuss with you," she replied. "I have been offered the position, but it would mean staying here for several years. Possibly longer." Lyra's skin brightened. "Immediately, and you said," Sam laughed. "Yes, of course," I said yes. "How could I leave now at the beginning of something so important?" "So," she paused, searching for the right word. "Beautiful." Lyra's forearms moved in the gesture of happiness. "The Azurian Council has asked me to serve as liaison to both Earth and the Dravek. It seems we will be working closely together." Their conversation was interrupted when Ambassador Krell approached Confederation leadership. "Has responded to my preliminary report," he said. "They find your proposal intriguing and worthy of development. A diplomatic team will arrive within a lunar cycle to begin formal negotiations." Lyra noticed that Krell had removed most of his armor since arriving on Azuria, just as Sam had done, a sign of growing trust and comfort with her world. "There is something else," the ambassador continued. "The Confederation has records of 17 other worlds with potential for bioluminescent technology similar to yours, though none as advanced. Your knowledge could help form a network of like-minded cultures sharing innovations while preserving unique traditions." Lyra felt a surge of excitement at the thought of connecting with other worlds that shared aspects of Azurian biology and culture. What had begun as fear of the unknown was transforming into anticipation of new possibilities. In the days that followed, life in the village developed new rhythms. The humans established their research outpost nearby, with Sam overseeing projects that benefited both worlds. The Dravek maintained a small diplomatic presence, helping prepare for the negotiations ahead and providing technology that helped monitor the system for unauthorized ships. One evening, As Azuria's 3 moons rose, Lyra took Sam to a special place, a hidden grove where crystal formations created natural music as the wind passed through them. They sat together listening to the haunting melodies. This is where Azurians come when making life-changing decisions, Lyra explained, allowing the crystals to help clear their minds. Sam listened to the ethereal sounds with wonder. Is there a decision you're considering? Lyra's skin shifted through thoughtful patterns. I have been offered an opportunity to travel to Earth. As part of the cultural exchange program, it would mean leaving my world, temporarily experiencing yours firsthand. And what are you thinking? Sam asked gently. Lyra turned to face her, all 4 eyes meeting Sam's. 2. I am thinking that understanding cannot be one-sided if we are to build something meaningful between our worlds. I should experience yours as you have experienced mine. Sam smiled widely. I would be honored to show you Earth. Though I should warn you, it is very different. Some parts beautiful, others challenging. I expect nothing less. Lyra replied, my people have a saying. The brightest lights cast the deepest shadows, meaning no world is perfect. Each has beauty and paint. They sat in comfortable silence for a while before Sam spoke. Again, I keep thinking about that first day when you saw me in my suit. How frightened you were. Lyra made the Azurian gesture of amusement, her skin pulsing with light. I thought you were a monster coming to destroy our world. And now Lyra considered. The question now I see that sometimes what appears most frightening can become most precious. The unknown becomes known, fear becomes understanding, difference becomes strengths. And reached out, touching the luminescent patterns on Lyra's arm. They glowed. Brighter in response, I felt the same fear in reverse, you know. Your appearance was so different from anything I'd seen before, but now. Now Lyra prompted, her skin rippling with emotion patterns. She had stopped trying to hide. Now I see beauty. Sam finished, her voice soft. Where once I saw strangeness, I see wonder. Where I saw difference, I see complementary strength. Above them the stars shimmered in Azuria's clear atmosphere, each one potentially home to other civilizations, other beings who might someday join the growing network of connected worlds. Lyra thought about the path that had brought them here. A crashed ship, a frightening first meeting, the removal of a helmet, revealing not a monster but a friend elder. Neela approached them later. Her movements, deliberate, her skin displaying formal patterns. The Council has approved your journey to Earth. She told Lyra, you will be the first Azurian to visit another world. You will carry our voice, our spirit. Lyra accepted the honor with the traditional gesture of gratitude, her forearms moving in the ancient patterns. When will I leave? The human ship will depart at the next lunar alignment, Elder Neela said. In 2 weeks' time, Ambassador Krell has provided translation technology and protective equipment. For your journey, Sam looked concerned. Will you be comfortable leaving your home for so long? Lyra's skin glowed with determination. I am nervous but certain this exchange must go both ways to be meaningful. I will learn about Earth as you have learned about Azuria. The news of Lyra's planned journey spread quickly through the village, creating excitement and some anxiety. No Azurian had ever left their world before. This would be historic. Some villagers brought gifts for Lyra to take to Earth, others asked her to record specific aspects of human culture for them to study. The Dravek offered specialized equipment to help Lyra adapt to Earth's different atmosphere and gravity, their advanced technology making the journey safer than it would have been with only human resources. Another benefit of the new alliance. On the morning of departure, the entire village gathered to witness Lyra's farewell. Sam stood with the human crew ready to accompany her back to Earth. Lyra wore a special suit designed jointly by human and Dravek engineers to maintain her comfort, while allowing her natural bioluminescence to remain visible. Elder Neela performed the traditional blessing, her forearms moving in ancient patterns while her skin displayed the sacred lights of journey and return. You go as one but carry us all, she told Lyra. Your experiences will become part of our shared memory in the crystal caves. Lyra embraced her friends and family, then walked toward the human ship where Sam waited, her smile warm and encouraging. Inside the ship, Lyra was shown to her specially designed quarters where she would spend much of the journey. The wall screens showed views of Azuria growing smaller as they lifted off. Sam joined her as they watched her world recede, becoming a beautiful blue-green sphere against the blackness of space. How do you feel? Sam asked. Lyra considered the question as her skin shifted through complex emotional patterns. I feel like the first drop of water in a stream that will grow into a river connecting worlds and species. I feel afraid but also more alive than ever before.